Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com. Stock photography has died. Let's start. Well, many people are telling that stock photography is dead because of artificial intelligence. Okay, so they say it will replace photographers and you don't need anymore to make pictures, to take pictures. So I tested this online service by Shutterstock, just this one, to see what it does, what it offers, and I will give you my impression. Well, in any case, I don't think stock will disappear. I think maybe it will stop being called stock photography and be called stock images because, yeah, if they are computer created, they're not photography anymore, they're images. Okay. And in any case, who could die is the photographer more than the stock itself. Obviously, I don't hope it will die physically. I think what will disappear is maybe his work. Okay, so we're going to see in details what this Shutterstock is offering. There are probably more that do it. I don't know. I tested Shutterstocks, and I'll give you my impression of what I think about the future of the work as a photographer for stock photography, and what will happen, okay, and why this happened. Okay, first I want to clarify the term artificial intelligence, because what we see every day for marketing purpose is the word artificial intelligence, but this is not. These are algorithms thought by people who are really intelligent, and they have thought of many possibilities and many ways of answering your request, and they just use the power, the lot of power that computers have nowadays to respond to your demand really fast. Artificial intelligence is something really different. Artificial intelligence is when a system has self-learning and can have initiative and decide things by itself and do things even the guy who created the algorithm didn't know the machine would start doing by itself. Okay, this is another level. Okay, what we do now on picture and editing and all this is not artificial intelligence. This is a great software, really well thought by a computer engineer. That's it. Okay, and by the way, if you have not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please do so. That really helps me. There's a small button down here that says subscribe, and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much. So let's carry on. So I decided to test this artificial intelligence, as they call it, okay, AI, and I went to Shutterstock. I don't know if there are more webs offering this online service, okay, but I read they did, so I went there, create my account, and then you enter. You have the typical, as usual, photography stock where you can pick pictures, all this, but then there is an area dedicated to artificial intelligence, and there you have two options. One is to pick things that are already created. You have pictures as always, but they're created images, okay, or you have the possibility to create your own image. Okay, so then it's really simple. You just have to select a few options, whether it's photography simulation, or if it's drawing or art or whatever. I just tested a simulation of photography because the idea of this video is to give my opinion if it's possible to replace photographer with this system. So I just tried the photography simulation. Okay, then you have options like black and white, color, outdoor, indoor, bokeh. They said that's really funny when I see bokeh when they want something really out of focus. Okay, well, in the background. Okay, but these options. So you type the word you want. So I put like coffee and croissant. I got this. Okay, I think, yeah, okay, then I just put lady and yacht. I got an older person with a yacht, okay. Then I put grandmother walking, and I got a grandmother that is walking. It gives me two results, okay. Then I put grandmother with two kids. I got this. Then I put whiskey and cigar, and I got that. Then I put wine and cheese. I got this. Then I thought, yeah, what's about the Ferrari? Does it give me a Ferrari? I got this. The logo Ferrari is, you cannot see it, okay? Probably to avoid any copyright infringement, whatever, it doesn't show me, but the car still looks like a Ferrari. So let's think of the quality. Well, I think that the glass of whiskey and maybe the cheese and the coffee, that was okay. I think it is usable for illustrating a website or an article in a newspaper. I think that's fine. That would work, okay. But for the rest, well, when you look at people, they're really bad generated, doesn't look good. Okay, I just said degenerated, bad. The creation is not that good. See, the face is really strange. The kids, they look like older than the grandmother. So I think for the person, there's a long way to go still. I don't know how long it would take, but there is still a long way to go. The car was not that good either. Even the doesn't matter that you don't see the logo of Ferrari, but still the car looks really artificial. Okay, really strange. But I do think, yes, this system is on its way of creating images that are completely usable. I don't know how long it will take to have everything okay, but so far some pictures are already usable. So we're going to get more into detail speaking about the future, okay? Well, I think many stock photographers are going to get offended by what I'm going to say, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I think they have caved their grave themselves. Why? Well, to understand that, we need to understand the present and the future, we need to look at the past. Many years ago, if a hotel, for example, wanted to have a picture for its website are old already, but, or maybe before a brochure or whatever, or an advert, well, they would call a photographer and tell, come here, I need a picture of a receptionist. I don't like the face of my receptionist, or if he leaves the work, I prefer to have a model. Okay, put a model there, make the picture, and that's it. Okay, or something that's really neutral, like a dentist or whoever. Okay, or a cup of coffee to illustrate a menu or whatever. They would call a photographer. The guy would come, maybe with a team, spend a day or some time, and maybe for the day we'll charge maybe 800, 500, 1,000 euros for the day. I don't know. It depends. Depends where you are, the country, all this. But that's irrelevant, okay? But they would charge some serious money for the work. And the client would have a unique picture for himself, and that was his, and that's it. But then, for many people, it was harder and harder to get clients like this, ready to pay. And stock photography, online stock photography, because stock always existed, okay? But online stock photography appeared, and the possibility to sell for them was a good idea. They say, okay, instead of finding one client that pays 1,000 euros or $1,000, I get 10 clients that pay 100 euros. But then that changed. It was not 100 euros, it was 10 euros. So you need 100 clients for the same money. And then now it's not 10 euros, it's 1 euro. So you need 1,000 clients for the same money, okay? So they thought that was great. There were not that many stock photographers at the beginning of online photography. So they make serious money, okay? They were selling all over the world, they made money. But more and more people arrive on the stock photography market, and less and less people make money. A few still make a lot of money, and many never earn anything. They don't even reach a minimum to get the commission. I'll give you a link about that video I spoke about at the beginning, okay? And that makes that as they don't make money, they feel that it doesn't work. Now they've created a situation where people think that paying a photographer is too expensive. The right price is stock photography price. So it's really hard to go back to classical photography to tell someone, yeah, but I'll give you a unique picture, all this. Yeah, maybe you can convince this way, or they really need to show something that is unique to their place. So then they need someone to convey the picture. But for illustration purpose, they can buy stock, no problem. So they've created the situation that people are disregarding classic photographers. They feel it's too expensive. I can understand that. And they feel the right price is stock price. But they still miss the fact that this cup of coffee with the croissant is unique for me. And if I buy on stock photography, unless I pay extra to get exclusivity, but then maybe some people already bought before, but it stopped selling, and from now on it's only for me, but I cannot remove from former buyers anyway. But still, most people, they say, yeah, but it's not unique. My neighbor, they put a picture on their website, and they have the same receptionist on the picture, so that's a problem. Or the dentist, or the cup of coffee, or the pizza is the same as the other restaurant next door. That's a problem. I really like the unique the fact that I am the only one who have this picture. Well, this is solved with artificial intelligence. You can actually try it several times until you get the picture you like, and that's for you. And you pay for it, and you pay the price of stocks, of cheap price. So, why should I pay a photographer when a computer can do it? And instead of having thousands of people having the same picture as I buy, I would be the only one to have that picture? Well, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. So they actually caved their own grave. They created a cheap market, people who don't want to pay for photography. Even some people, they steal photography from stock and they remove the logo. This is ridiculous, but this is reality. The problem is now, the same way as stock photographer pushed out classical photographer, artificial intelligence is pushing them out. So I do think that stock photographer that do so far simple things like a cup of coffee, I don't say it's easy to make a picture, okay? I say simple objects that can be easily created with artificial intelligence. Yes, they're out of work with that. This simple task that can be made by a computer and sold just once for the buyer. This is wonderful. So yeah, for these people, this is really hard. So we're gonna speak a bit more about the future and what could happen, okay? So what can happen in the future? Well, I think for the stock photographer, there is still a lot of work to do and just possibility to sell, but not on everything. There's still things that are unique and not computer generated. Maybe I want a monument, or I want I don't know, a landscape, but not an artificial landscape, a real landscape that corresponds to reality. Or travel photographer that do stock also. Sometimes they present things that are unique, and so far it's complicated to create with artificial intelligence because you want reality, so a computer will need to see what it is, how it is, or maybe copy a picture that maybe could be a copyright infringement, okay? So yes, I think there's still work for this kind of picture, but there is a big part of the stock business, I would say, pictures that are made to illustrate an article, a website, or things like this. This is going to be complicated. Like this cup of coffee, doesn't matter which cup of coffee it is, just to illustrate an article, it looks like a picture. That's fine to me. So stock photographer that do that kind of picture, this is going to be really hard because more and more artificial intelligence will be able to make this perfectly and be without any photographer for that. So for these photographers, they need to think of how to reconvert the business. Maybe do other kind of stock photography, but maybe that's hard because maybe they're not known for landscape or a monument or whatever, or there are already too many pictures of the Eiffel Tower. So if they start making the Eiffel Tower or Miss Liberty in New York, that's so many pictures of this, so it's really hard to sell one, okay? So it's going to be hard to think of what to do. So I think there are 2 or 3 possibilities. One is to stop photography, any kind of photography, or stock photography only. Then the other one would be to say, well, I reconvert myself to stock that really works, or I go back to see clients physically and tell them why it is better to have their own photographer that make the picture, that make things, and sell them your work. Show why it is better. Sometimes it's hard to justify. It's hard for them maybe to pay or to understand why. But this is you need to be really good and to have a really good sales pitch, okay? That's important, otherwise it's going to be hard, okay? Other possibility is to say, well, if you cannot fight against your enemy, you can unify to your enemy and start creating yourself artificial images. Maybe mix them with real photography, or maybe retouch this artificial work because it's still not perfect, or offer to personalize something that was created artificially. Work on that, and then you become an artificial image creator. You are real, the image is artificial, okay? But you just work on that, see how to create things, and work with that, and sell them on stock again as AI pictures. And that's a possibility also. But I think every business has always changed with time. If we look at wedding photographers, before, basically, you would do the full wedding from pre-wedding, the dressing, and then the post-wedding, and everything. And maybe it would be several days or 20 hours. That was really a lot of work. And nowadays, very often, they tell you, no, you make just a ceremony pictures and some poses, and that's it. And the rest, my guest will actually give me the picture they've made with their smartphone, and that's it. And more people contract wedding photographers just for a couple of hours and not for the full wedding, because they get picture from the mobile phone of their the smartphone of their the people they invite to the ceremony and to the wedding. So everything changes. Before we used to use a lot more coal than petrol, oil, and now we're using a lot more oil, and then less and less. And before you had horses and a car behind, and now you have an engine with petrol, and you don't have any horses anymore. So everything changes with time, okay? So that's the way it goes. So I think stock photographer, they have to worry, but start to think about how to reconvert the business to something else, or keep to photography, but see what can work for them, okay? So let's get to the conclusion. Well, for conclusion, I'm going to tell you a small story. Many years ago, over 20 years ago, I had an internet business. I had two, actually. I sold one to a cable company, a telecom company, and then I started a new one, and we created a website. And the company, a cosmetic company, called us to make the website, and they had a serious problem with photography. They didn't find a photographer that would give the quality other cosmetics business had. Okay, so I declined making the picture, although I was making picture for many clients, charging for the work of this. But still, I declined because it was a lot of work. I was not an expert on that kind of picture, and what they wanted, I think it was impossible to get, okay, or really hard to get. I was really stunned by what other company would make. And then one day they said, yeah, we found, Eric, we found who could do that. I was like, yeah, what is the name of the photographer? No, he's not a photographer. Eh? Well, actually, they find out that every massive cosmetic company didn't use picture. It was computer created. So they did start from a picture, so they had to make a picture with the right scale, right size. But it doesn't matter the lighting, and it doesn't matter. And the guy was making that after, within 10 to 20 minutes, had the result, and it looked perfect. It was 3D, perfect. Looked like a picture. You could even spin it if you wanted to have another angle. It was perfect. From what he created, then on the website you could put a front, back, top, anything, okay? And we speak about, it was the year something like 2006, something like this. And at that time, all cosmetic companies were already using computer to generate the image they were showing on the advertisement and website and everything, okay? So that's not new, that computer is interfering with the photography business, or creating images that help disregard a photographer. So that's not new, okay? So I think every business is changing with time, and I do think that yes, a stock photographer, they should be really worried about the business, especially the one that just make illustration. They should start thinking of a reconversion, whether it's in something else than photography, or something else than stock photography, or within stock photography, what they can offer that would still make them money, okay? And yeah, they should be worried, because I think things are going fast, and yeah, soon their job will be out for a big chunk of stock photography business, okay? So if you saw my video about stock photography I made like last year or 2 years ago, and you disagreed with me because you were a stock photographer that was making money, please comment here, tell me your opinion, what you think of the situation, the future and everything. I'm interested to read you, okay? So thank you so much for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The small button down here is a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of Morgan on Amazon, links of everything I reviewed by K&F Concept, Sandmarc and Flashes by Westcott, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon.